Got it. Hang on one second. Hey there, guys. Merry Christmas and welcome to a very special movie review of Jingle All The Way. The film Jingle All The Way is probably one of the worst films ever made, but it holds a very special place in my heart. Oh, these cookies! I gotta get the recipe from Liz.
Put that cookie down! Now!
Now let's talk about the film Jingle All The Way. I remember seeing this back in the theaters in 1996 when I was a stupid little kid, and I loved it. It stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as a dad desperately searching for this Christmas's hottest toy, a Turbo Man doll, for his son, Anakin Skywalker. Yippee! Now when you go back and watch this film, one of the most fascinating things about it is, it takes place before Amazon or the internet, where you had to get in your car and drive places to buy things. It's crazy. And we're going to talk all about why I really love that concept so much. And by the way, this review will have spoilers in it. And also, by the way, never watched Jingle All The Way 2. Now, as far as the concept of Jingle All The Way, it's clearly inspired by true life stories of mass consumerism. We as a society buy stuff that we don't need, don't like, to impress people that we hate. And I've partaken in that, and that right there is essentially the concept that drives the story of this film. But there's more to this movie than just buying stuff. The film Jingle All The Way has an emotional storyline about a father who's distant from his family because he works too much, and he needs to be at home spending time with his son and his wife, because that's what Christmas is all about. It's not about buying a Turbo Man doll, it's about spending quality time with your son Jamie. And also facing near-death experiences and being saved by your buff superhero father who dresses like this. Now, I talked about the consumerism concept behind this movie, and that's what's so fascinating to me about this movie, and that's why it relates to me so much, is because I've done it. I'm not proud to say it, but I've done things that Arnold is doing in this movie for things I don't really need, but I want them. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. A few months back, I was desperately searching high and low for an SNES classic because I thought by buying it, I could relive my childhood days and be happy in life. And I went to 87 locations in 3 days, did a cartwheel, a backflip, ran over an old lady, smashed some guy's toes with a hammer, and I found one. And the thing I really enjoyed about that entire experience was the adventure and the journey of finding that item. Now, sure, I enjoy playing it every once in a while. It's fun. I like playing F-Zero or Super Mario World. So yeah, that's why I like this movie. That's why I think the concept relates to me so much. And this movie also stars Sinbad as the worst postman ever, who's also running around town trying to get a Turbo Man doll for his son too. And in this movie, Sinbad also plays a terrorist. That's not a joke. Watch the movie. Now, there's a scene in this film where Sinbad's character is surrounded by police officers, and to get out of the situation, he threatens that the package he's holding is a bomb. And it turns out that it actually is a bomb, and not only that, it explodes. But wait, there's more. Not only does he try to blow up police officers, he beats a man up, steals his suit, puts it on, and then tries to steal Jamie's Turbo Man doll while almost killing him in the process. But all that's okay, because at the end of the movie, we learn a valuable lesson when Jamie hands him his Turbo Man doll, saying that he has the real thing at home. And it's a really good thing Jamie did that for him, because this year, Sinbad's son won't have a father at home. He'll be in prison for the next 10 to 20 years, but he'll have his Turbo Man doll to play with. This movie is just, it's insane. It's pure insanity, and I love it. And we'll talk more about that in just a few seconds, but first let's talk about more of the wild adventure that Arnold goes on while searching for this Turbo Man doll and all the mishaps he gets himself into, such as, during one scene in this movie, Arnold's visiting the local mall where he's accused of being a pervert.
Just give me the ball. I got it.
And then beaten by multiple women. Yay! I'm not a pervert, I just wanted a Turbo Man doll! If that line doesn't say Christmas, I don't know what does. Meanwhile, while Arnold's out searching for a Turbo Man doll, back home his next door neighbor Ted, played by Phil Hartman, is secretly trying to seduce his wife. Now once again, this film is genius because it's marketed as a holiday fun adventure film where a dad just wants to get a toy for his son. But in between all that, there's dark and seedy, violent sexual things happening.
Don't worry. Ted's here.
And when you go back and watch this movie with adult eyes, you pick up on just how bizarre and scary and creepy this movie really is.
A shoulder to cry on.
Now let's talk about the character of Ted, who on the surface is this funny, comical character played by the late Phil Hartman. But when you truly watch this movie and read between the lines, the character of Ted is a little bit too touchy at times. He also comes across as mentally disturbed, and I truly think in Ted's past, he's buried bodies in the woods at 3 o'clock in the morning. I get that vibe.
Go! Pipe down in there!
The film Jingle All The Way has a lot of dark humor hidden throughout, and the character of Ted, when you watch this movie and you just see what the guy's doing, it's not funny. It's scary. And me personally, I think the scriptwriter behind this movie had all these weird, dark, sadistic ideas, and he thought to himself, you know what? I can get away with all these, but I'm gonna put them in a family-friendly Christmas movie, and no one's gonna notice. And if you look at the film Jingle All The Way like that, it's truly an amazing movie that's very underappreciated and undervalued, and it opens it up to a whole different perspective that no one, I feel like, has noticed before. Now, let's just cut to the third act of this movie where it becomes a live-action cartoon. Put that movie down! The film Jingle All The Way is a magical and mystical holiday movie, and if you want to look at it like that, it's a fun time. It's lighthearted, there's no consequences, and like I said, everyone becomes a cartoon character by the third act. The film Jingle All The Way is not a good movie, but it's an entertaining movie, and with Arnold in any movie, no matter how bad it is, Arnold's so likable and charismatic where he has no range as an actor, but you just like looking at him. Maybe that's just me. I just liked Arnold running around town, trying to find a Turbo Man doll. As a kid, I loved Jingle All The Way for one reason, and now as an adult, I love Jingle All The Way for an entirely different reason. And every time the movie comes on, I find myself glued to watching the movie. If I had to give the film Jingle All The Way a grade, I would probably give it a B-. And I think that's being very, very kind to this movie. That's my take on Jingle All The Way. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie down below in the comments section, and give the video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And also, I know it's been a long time, it's very late, but I am still currently working on my Star Wars Last Jedi reviews. Those videos are coming. Life has been very hectic, and I'll explain maybe a little bit later what's going on. But with all that said, Merry Christmas to everyone, and everyone a good night! And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.